So, what's new with you? I know, George Zimmerman, not guilty. Now, I'll never know what happened that night, neither will you. For all I know, Zimmerman's shadier than an elm tree. There was a fight, but I wasn't there, and neither was Jamie Foxx. As for the jury, they heard the case. Al Sharpton didn't. But really, what do I know? Let me repeat. What do I know? Those are 4 words you never hear from the media or celebrities who wear their rage on their T-shirts. Take Kirstie Alley's noxious tweet. White people used to make black people drink from separate fountains. Now we just shoot their children. Someone should tell this gas bag that Zimmerman was Hispanic, but I forgive her because the media repeatedly called him white. And she's stupid. And why did NBC edit Zimmerman's 911 call so he appeared racist? Well, for the same reason The Nation magazine blames the verdict on white supremacy. For perverts of polarization to win, you need white versus black. So they get it wrong on purpose. Their racial provocation is meant to unravel a country, for riffs bring revolution. The angry celebrities, some are sincere, but when Miley Cyrus tweets, "No justice, no peace," you gotta throw up through your ears. Only one star, to me, made any sense. It was rapper Lupe Fiasco. After tweeting that black blood spills on the streets of America nightly at the hands of other blacks, he added, "Nobody knows what really happened except Trayvon and Zimmerman. The justice system relies on reasonable doubt, not our emotions. Your emotional reactions to perceived injustice will get you nowhere." Well, he's no Eric Holder, and good for him. So let's go around the horn, as they say. Kimberly?
Didn't you ban that?
Around the horn?
Yeah.
Not today.
Not today.
Okay.
I'm pulling it out of the bandbox.
I thought there would be a reaction to the verdict if it was not guilty. I'm actually surprised at the extent of inflammatory rhetoric, the race baiting, the provocation, just the irresponsible behavior from people in the media, from celebrities, and just in general, kind of the ignorance of the general public. Because when you hear the people talk about the case, they haven't even followed it. They don't know what happened. They think Zimmerman was on top of Trayvon Martin. And when you point out to them, to try to be helpful in an educational way, the actual facts that came forward during the trial, in the testimony, that's in the transcripts from the prosecution witnesses, are like, oh, I didn't know that happened that way. Okay.
Bob, I bet you were thrilled.
And let me just join those race-baiting perverts who think that this was a most unbelievable verdict. First of all, let's start with Florida. I know this is going to get Dana mad because she gets mad when I get like this, but that backward state, when they allow something called stand your ground law,
nothing to do with this case, but go ahead.
I'm not going to break into your conversation. I got something to say here, right?
Yeah.
It's stand your ground law that allows a murderer, and yes, I said murderer, to kill a black kid. And look, I do hope there's no riots. I hope Al Sharpton has enough sense to come out and say stop. But the fact of the matter is, I think the Justice Department should pursue a civil rights case against this guy, and the Martin family should get a huge civil verdict against this punk.
On what grounds?
On what grounds? On the grounds that he murdered a kid.
Bob,
that's what.
You just went through standing around, and the defense decided that was not what they were going to defend George Zimmerman on. They were going to go with self-defense, and in fact, he won on self-defense. Who are you mad at? Are you mad at the judge?
I'm mad.
Oh, no. Figure out who you're mad at. Are you mad at the judge?
No, not mad at the
judge. Are you mad at the jury?
Yes.
Are you mad at the law?
Yes.
Are you mad at the outcome?
Yes.
You're just mad in general.
And the whole state of Florida.
And the state of Florida.
Right.
And you have your misguided anger at the stand your ground law. That didn't apply here. Can I tell you something? The reason why there's no rioting,
right,
the reason why windows aren't being broken, Times Square is not shut down, is because America saw that there was no evidence in the case. I contend, and I honestly believe this, I think the prosecutors brought this case so that America could see that there was no evidence. And when the jury made the right decision and acquitted George Zimmerman, there wouldn't be rioting in the streets because there's no reason to riot. It's not Rodney King where you see that video over and over and over again. You go, how could those cops be innocent? This is a different case. There's none of that.
But you're saying they brought it to kind of help, appease the political masses, the political correctness out there, the people that were looking for somebody's head on a plate.
Yes.
But the problem is they should have brought it to the grand jury to decide from the people, especially with a controversial case like that, whether or not they felt there was a second degree, but instead they were looking to cover themselves, overcharge the case, which I think is grossly irresponsible.
Dana, I want to get you in on this. This happened on Saturday. I wasn't sure if you were aware.
Yeah, I actually had just finished watching a great independent film called Take Me Home.
Nice.
And it was very good. And I saw, like, it was about 9:59 p.m.
Right.
And there was, like, everybody, it was annoying me so much. Everybody was tweeting, there's a verdict, there's a verdict, there's a verdict. And so I stayed up and I watched it. From what I saw, I thought there would be a possible manslaughter charge, which was just below the second-degree murder. However, what I am surprised about is, like, Bob, did you feel the same way about the O.J. Simpson trial when that verdict came in?
Yes.
On behalf of Nicole Simpson's about
I
Nicole's
thought O.J. Simpson
family?
was as guilty as I was drinking.
Okay.
Okay.
That's interesting. All right. So I didn't realize it. I thought. Do you see my point?
Yes, I think I do see your point.
I don't understand the selective outrage by some people. I also think that some in the African-American community are being used by people who want to get more attention for themselves. Why is Kirstie Alley, she has every right, Kirstie Alley, she wants to tweet about it, that's okay, but what about those 6 women jurors? They're the ones who were asked to do the job. They sat there. I mean, the war on women has been against them.
Yeah.
They made a decision. Like, all of a sudden, no matter what they were going to decide, someone was going to be mad at them. But they're the ones who, first, the prosecution asked for the trial, or the civil rights activists asked for the arrest, then the trial. They get the trial, they get a verdict, and it's still not good enough.
No, they won't let it go.
Can we throw something else in there? The FBI has already said that there was they investigated some 36 different groups to see if George Zimmerman was a racist. They were looking for that prior to the original trial. They couldn't get that. They decided that he wasn't a racist. The original prosecutors in the original trial said, we don't have enough to bring this case.
Mind if I ask you a question?
Hold on. We don't have enough evidence to bring this trial, bring this case to trial.
To file.
So we're not going to do it. So what does the state of Florida do? Say, no, we're still going to do it. We're going to find a prosecutor that will do it. They take whatever evidence they have. They put up a big, grandiose case, say he's a murderer. Turns out there wasn't enough evidence. There's not going to be enough evidence when Eric Holder's Department of Justice gets a hold of it and realizes they don't have a case either.
Okay, you want me to guess your question that's really going to outrage you? What if it was a white kid who got killed? Do you think it would have been a different outcome?
White kid by
Nicole
what?
Brown Simpson was white, and
I know
O.J.
she
Simpson
was.
killed
I know
her.
she was, and that was an
And he was
outrageous
acquitted.
trial.
So what's
There's
your
a
point?
young girl
My
just
point
murdered
is
for a
if-
bicycle in New Jersey
look.
that no one talks about.
Right.
I mean, you want to talk about evidence? You want to talk real evidence? O.J. Simpson's blood is all over the crime
No, there's
scene
no
where
question
Nicole
about
Brown
that.
Simpson.
There's no
her
question.
blood was inside the
There's
Bronco.
no question
Bob,
about that.
There's a case where there's a whole lot of physical evidence.
Exactly.
This is all circumstantial evidence here.
But you know
no
what?
physical evidence.
But Eric, this is the shift. It was like before, the media had created this dichotomy, black versus white. When we realized that he was Hispanic, then it's like, well, what if Zimmerman was? What if Trayvon was white? So you have to switch. You always have to switch the
And
argument.
they called him a white Hispanic.
Yeah, and when the argument doesn't work, can we just run? I want to. This was Mark O'Mara talking to the media about how the media had affected the outcome or tried to outcome of the trial.
You guys, the media, he was like a patient in an operating table where mad scientists were committing experiments on him and he had no anesthesia. He didn't know why he was turned in to this monster, but quite honestly, you guys had a lot to do with it.
KG, he just called them out using a twisted metaphor.
Yeah, but it seems that both of the attorneys, O'Mara, yeah, I got that, and West are very passionate about George Zimmerman. They spent a tremendous amount of time with him. They do feel, I think they're being very honest, forthright about their personal feelings about Mr. Zimmerman, what they have seen through their many years in the legal profession, about how he was treated by the district attorney's office, by the investigators, by the media at large, to the point of a serious defamation case that's going to be brought against NBC, where they doctored the tape and created some of this racial hysteria that has done nothing but divide this country. So if there's blood that results from this, they should be ashamed because they helped put it there.
Can I just say one thing? My real problem here is that any state that allows somebody to carry a gun, they're walking around pretending he's a cop, and it's legal, and he shoots somebody, is a backward.
So
you don't believe in self-defense?
I don't believe in. It's not a question of building.
There's a concealed carry law in every single one of the 50 United States of America.
And it should not be there.
All right, well, then maybe you shouldn't be here in America.
Oh, really?
It's the law of every state, Bob.
Where should I be?
I don't know. Canada.
No, you like Thailand, you said.
France, I can't
like
stand
Thailand.
Thailand I'll go to.
Don't go to
We know
China.
why.
There is, but you know, Bob does raise a good point. It's not about. I don't believe it's about the concealed and carry. It's who should have it, and this is a guy who had prior arrest. Zimmerman.
Or why don't we have enough law enforcement?
Yeah.
Are we having to spend public resources on other things that have nothing to do with what the country should be doing, what the government
That's a
should be
good
doing,
point.
or the state or the federal government? Should there be more cops on the street?
Yeah.
Or more then you wouldn't need neighborhood watch necessarily.
What do you make of this? Is a tweet from Victor Cruz. I believe he's an athlete for the New York Giants.
Oh, it's very upsetting.
I can't read that far. Oh, thoroughly confused. Zimmerman doesn't last a year before the hood catches up.
This is crazy. People have lost their
You know
minds.
what's even crazier? Victor Cruz is a hero. He's a local kid, grew up dead poor broke with his single mother, makes it to the NFL, just signs a massive NFL contract, literally a couple of maybe weeks ago, maybe months ago. And then this is the first thing that he does out of the box.
Sort of
And then now he's backtracked.
out of character. He tried to.
It is out of character.
To be honest, he's well known in the community.
great guy,
Great family. You know, tremendous love and respect for his mom, for his grandmother, and you know, this is somebody that I would not have expected. I don't know if I can let Ronan wear his jersey
Can you
anymore.
relate to the outrage in the black community?
Outrage in the black community. I think we're going to talk about race in the C block coming up. There are race baiters out there that are creating the outrage, and they have to do that, Bob, because by definition, if they don't create racial outrage, they have no jobs. So they're the only thing making an Al Sharpton relevant or Mark Lamont Hill relevant is being an outrageous race baiter.
What if something happens from that? That's the thing. I hate the gross irresponsibility. Do these people follow the trends? You're making these statements. There's people who look up to you, that admire you, that listen to you, that think it's going to be great if they follow up on your actions. That's the problem. There's a lot of
I'd venture to
people out
say
there.
that most of the blacks who are out there who are upset didn't listen to Al Sharpton in the first place.
I'm not talking about blacks. I'm talking about anybody out there. I'm not specifying race.
I think Bob is making a legitimate point, though.
Yep.
I do. I mean, if you believe that blacks are untreated, are treated
Mistreated.
unfairly,
Yeah.
treated unfairly by the justice system, and there is evidence that happens, this concerns you.
Yeah.
Now they could be wrong on this specific case, but you know,
This is a self-defense case
Yeah.
with no compelling evidence to
Yeah.
prove that George Zimmerman murdered Trayvon Martin.
You got to
They
get
just
behind the right
don't have
case.
it.
That's
They just
the
don't.
thing.
no, that was the case. I mean, the jury knows this is what happened.
I just don't
Yeah,
think you
it's-
should sacrifice somebody, make a sacrificial lamb out of someone for a political point if the facts and circumstances aren't there. Choose your case with the fact pattern that
There's thousands of people
supports
who
it.
get their heads scratched and a broken nose in bars every Saturday night, and nobody takes a gun and shoots each other.
All right. On that note.